Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Breaking news for you this evening. Police have set up a perimeter in Moorhead and are looking for a suspect after an armed robbery this evening.
Authorities responded to 36th Avenue and 11th Street South around, 40 minutes ago, about 9:20. Let's go live to Valley News Team's Katie Opperly, who's stationed at the perimeter in Moorhead. Katie, what can you tell us?
Andrea, I am currently on 11th Street South in South Moorhead, where police say that there was a robbery just a street that way. As you can see behind me, there is a perimeter currently set up by police as they're searching for the suspect. We don't have a lot of information at this current time, but what we do know is that the suspect is described as being around 6 feet tall, wearing a black winter's coat, and has a pistol. He is expected to be armed, and they are currently looking for him. Police say they have brought out a canine unit to help look for this suspect. We don't currently have any other information at this time, but he was last seen going south from this area and was said to got away with 2 wallets. We'll continue to keep updating you on this story, but for now, reporting in South Moorhead, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
And thanks, Katie, and we'll have updates for you on valleynewslive.com, and if anything further develops in this newscast, we'll be sure to break in and pass it along.
Dilworth Glendon Felton Public Schools is closing all 4 of its schools from March 13th through the 18th.
Now, it's because snow is causing structural concerns with one of the buildings. The announcement came tonight. It includes DGF High School and the middle school and the elementary schools in both Glendon, Felton, and Dilworth. In a statement, the school district said that our priority is the safety of the students, employees, and guests in our schools. Upon the assessment and recommendation from a structural engineer this afternoon regarding the Glendon site, DGF Schools has decided that all 4 schools will be closed as a safety precaution to allow accumulated snow in the areas of Glendon roofs to be removed. No classes, meetings, or events will be held in the buildings during this time. And stick with Valley News Live. We'll continue to follow this story.
A building just off a busy avenue in South Fargo is quiet tonight after being shut down earlier. Tenants are left dealing with the aftermath.
Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard sits down with one of the upset store managers who is angry.
It would have collapsed with everybody in the building.
Tenants of the complex next to the Ramada by Wyndham near 13th Avenue South are not being allowed to move their belongings out. One of those tenants operates a dress shop.
She had wedding dresses, prom dresses. I believe her wedding was this weekend. She just had the final fitting. And she's not allowed to go in and get the prom dresses. She's not allowed to go in and get the wedding dresses.
Earlier Tuesday, rescue crews called for the building to be evacuated. Those inside told us they noticed water dripping from the ceiling and a portion of it sagging. One person said she heard banging and popping, and there were chunks of the ceiling falling.
It could have been way worse. That whole building could have collapsed with people in it.
Beams were said to be sagging 2 feet down. Peterson says they've been trying to tell the people who manage the property for days that something was seriously wrong, but they never got back with them. Reporting in Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
As Callie indicated, the tenants that we talked to said they don't have any issues with the owners, just the management company. We tried contacting them, Prairie Property Management, and we were told tonight that they had no comment at this time. We're also told that the owners of the building are from Watford City. They recently sank hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of renovations into the building, including new doors, windows, and a roof.
We have good reason to be concerned about the snow on our roofs, given the major winter storm that's moving our way. It sounds like we had better enjoy our quiet evening. Hutch, how does it look tomorrow morning?
Well, we are looking like some fog developing across the region. We're going to get to our winter storm that will be taking aim on the region. A blizzard timeline by Wednesday evening, tomorrow evening. Rain, sleet, and snow will push northward through the region. By Thursday morning, areas of heavy snow with winds gusting over 60 miles per hour a possibility. Some areas could have some ice in the morning on Thursday to contend with. By Thursday night, gusty winds continue with deep, heavy snow. Not a lot going on now, but this is a snapshot of Wednesday evening. And then as we go later into the night, the bands of snow get heavier and continue to spread. The possibility for 6 to 12 inches anywhere from Thief River Falls through Grand Forks, Fargo, Jamestown, and down near Ellendale, we could see a narrow band of upwards of 18 inches of snow. Less snow in Minnesota because more rain is possible there. I'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast on when things start in your neck of the woods and how this storm transitions through the region and some impacts it will have as well here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
We're not the only ones bracing for more bad weather. We asked power companies how prepared they are. At Lake Region Electric Line in Pelican Rapids, Minnesota, workers tell us they're watching the weather and will work to respond quickly to any outages.
We've got on after-hours call crew available 24 hours a day, all through the night. So when they get a call from our dispatch where the customer would call into, they're ready to come in, jump in their truck and roll.
For safety tips during an outage, go to our website and click on this story.
It's difficult. I have pretty bad PTSD, and sometimes that's the only way I can manage to cope with it.
A Barnesville woman claims she's been without hot water since the end of January, and she's not alone. Other tenants in the same apartment complex say the same thing. But the landlord of the apartment complex says not so fast. Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer investigates.
It's one thing for a couple of weeks without hot water, but it's another for a couple of months.
Kaylee Lochner and her neighbors are frustrated. She says they've had very little hot water in the past couple months.
It's maybe about 2 minutes of it, and then it's cold. So it's still a big problem, at least to me and everybody else in the building.
So she says her fiance, along with some neighbors, contacted the landlord. She tells us the water still isn't fixed.
The first time he came out, he replaced an element in our water heater, and that helped it a little bit, but ultimately it's still a problem for everyone.
And for those of you wondering about showering or taking a bath, they have to make it quick. We reached out to the landlord of this apartment complex. He tells us the resident manager of the apartment is a master plumber and has been working on it. He adds they can't turn off the water to get it fixed, but has offered other apartments for the tenants to stay in for the time being. And as for Lochner and some of her neighbors, they tell us they do enjoy living here, but just want there to be more hot water in their homes. In Barnesville, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
The landlord of this apartment also tells us he's working with the city to get the problem fixed, but the city of Barnesville tells us they don't typically get involved in these cases unless it's a building code issue. A Minnesota man reached out to our whistleblower hotline, urging others to be careful on dating websites after he says he was scammed. Tyler Fletcher says after talking with a woman he met online for a few days, she sent him unsolicited nude photos. And the next day, someone claiming to be the girl's dad texted Fletcher saying the girl was only 15 and that he was pressing charges against Fletcher. Fletcher gave his phone to the Grant County Sheriff's Department, who determined it was all just a scam, making Fletcher throw in the towel on using dating apps anymore.
I've never really had a bad experience, but my whole outlook on this whole online dating thing has completely changed since this instance. People need to really be careful who they're talking to. Do some research.
If you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline, 237-6576, and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
We still don't know what caused a fire that destroyed a Lidgerwood home and left a man injured. It happened this morning in the area of 3rd Avenue Southeast. Sanitation drivers spotted the fire and helped the man get out of the home. That man was taken to the hospital. The extent of his injuries are still not known at this time. No one else was injured in the fire, and the cause is still under investigation.
Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan and Governor Walz visited a pre-K classroom in New Hope, Minnesota today as part of a 5-day tour across the state. Their proposal calls for investing $733 million in additional pre-K through grade 12 education over the next 2 years, and another $158 million for higher education. Districts say this level of financial support allows them to have quality teachers in front of every child, as well as access to materials and technology to make sure kids are able to learn the skills needed to graduate.
The experiences that children have in the classroom are really critical. The experiences they have in the classroom are what will prepare our children for the future. Governor Tim Walz wants the state to make historic investments in students and the future.
Big news out of Sioux Falls tonight regarding the NDSU